Today, we're going to unlock a super simple mental trick. Seriously, it's something that governs everything from your savings account to how fast technology grows. It's a way to see this powerful and often kind of hidden force of exponential growth that is happening all around us. I mean, really think about it for a second. How long does it take for an investment you made to double? Or on the flip side, how long does it take for inflation to cut your money's value in half? Or even for a small problem to suddenly become a huge one? This question, it's at the heart of so many big decisions, but the answer feels like it should be complicated. Well, turns out it's not. The answer, or at least a shockingly good estimate, lies right here in this one number, 72. Yep, that's it. This is the key. It's a simple, kind of elegant tool for seeing the future just a little bit more clearly. So where on earth did it come from? Yeah, this isn't some modern financial thing cooked up by Wall Street. To really get the rule of 72, we've got to go back, way back, more than 500 years to the bustling marketplaces of Renaissance Italy. The guy who first wrote this rule down for everyone to see was a Franciscan friar named Luca Pacioli. You might have heard of him. He's often called the father of accountants. Now, he didn't invent the rule himself, but in his massive 1494 book, the Summa de Arithmetica, he basically wrote down the street-smart math that Venetian merchants were using every day to figure out how fast their money would grow. And here it is, straight from the source. Pacioli picked the number 72 for a really practical reason. It's super easy to divide. Think about it. It divides cleanly by 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12. This made doing math in your head an absolute breeze for a trader who, didn't have a calculator in his pocket. So how can you put this 500-year-old trick to work for you today? Let's break it down. It's incredibly simple. It really is this easy. You just take the number 72 and you divide it by whatever the annual growth rate is. So let's say you have an investment that's growing at 8% a year. You take 72, you divide it by 8, and you get 9. That means your money is going to double in about 9 years. It's a quick calculation you can do right in your head. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, is this just a gimmick? How accurate is it really? Well, just look at the numbers. The rule is incredibly accurate, especially for those really common interest rates, say between 6 and 10%. At an 8% rate, the estimate is off by, what, 0.01 years? It's an approximation for sure, but it's a very, very good one. All right, now let's get to where this rule gets really powerful, applying it to your own finances. Because in your financial life, there's this constant battle going on between growth and decay. See, compounding is a total double-edged sword. On one side, it's the engine that's growing your investments and savings. But on the other, it's the drag that's eating away at your wealth through things like inflation and fees. The rule of 72 is like a speedometer for both sides. Let's talk about the silent killer first. Inflation. If inflation is chugging along at 3%, you can use the rule to find its halving time. So 72 divided by 3 is 24. That means in 24 years, every dollar you have will only buy half of what it buys today. If inflation jumps to 6%, that time shrinks to just 12 years. Ouch! Fees work exactly the same way. That seemingly tiny 3% annual management fee on an investment, it also has a halving time. With the rule of 72, we can see that over 24 years, that fee can literally consume half of your investment's potential growth when you compare it to a zero-fee option. It's the hidden cost of compounding working against you. And then there's high-interest debt, which is probably the most dangerous form of negative compounding out there. If you have a credit card charging 18% APR, the amount you owe can double in just 4 years. And at 24%, it doubles in only 3. The rule of 72 shows you just how terrifyingly fast this kind of debt can spiral completely out of control. But here's where it gets really interesting. The rule of 72 isn't just about money. Its logic applies to any system that experiences exponential growth, whether that's in nature or technology. The very same mathematical principle that grows an investment portfolio, it also governs the growth of cells, of populations, and even the power of the computer or phone you're watching this on right now. I mean, the applications for this idea are just incredibly broad. Scientists use doubling time to model how tumors progress. Microbiologists use it to track how fast bacteria grows. It's even a core principle in computer science for managing memory and resources efficiently. So, for instance, a colony of E. coli bacteria, it can double in size in just 20 minutes. A line of HeLa cancer cells in a lab doubles in about a day.
But a solid lung tumor might take around 268 days to double. Understanding this pace of growth is absolutely critical in medicine.
And maybe the most famous non-financial example of all is Moore's Law. For decades, it's been the observation that the power of computer chips would basically double about every 2 years. This reliable, predictable, exponential growth is the engine that has fueled our entire digital revolution. So, what's the big point here? What does all this mean for how we think? Well, if the world around us is growing exponentially, we need the right mental tools to keep up. And here's the real challenge. Our brains are just not wired for this stuff. We have what scientists call an exponential growth bias. We tend to think in straight lines. We assume tomorrow will be a lot like today, just a little bit more. But compounding doesn't work that way at all. Its growth is explosive, and frankly, often really counterintuitive. And that is why the rule of 72 is so important. It's way more than a math trick. It's what some researchers call cognitive scaffolding. It's a mental shortcut that helps our linear brains finally grasp the powerful curve of exponential growth, whether we're planning for retirement or just trying to understand the incredible pace of change in the world. This simple rule, it helps you see the huge, long-term consequences of small, consistent changes. So I'll leave you with this question. In a world that compounds every single day, are you still thinking in a straight line?